Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast. This is the podcast where we have digital discussions for worlds of pop culture, TV, film, social media, sports, everything really depending on the guest. We talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Meliodas. On Twitter, you know me as PD Beats. And my guest is an actor who you will recognize in season 2 of Narcos Mexico, which is on Netflix. And we were speaking to Jero Medina. Jero, welcome to Popternative, man.
Oh, man, thank you so much, Peter, bro. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Absolutely. It's an exciting time. I mean, Narcos Mexico 2 dropped and it's just been crazy.
It's been a great response from people. It's more than I thought that it would be, to be honest. But it's also, Narcos does a great job at always kind of upping up their game each season they come out. And this season, it's very entertaining. It's packed with information, and lots of talent from Mexico and the U.S.
And we were talking about before we started taping. I mean, season 1 and 2 of Narcos, started about Pablo Escobar. Season 3 was about the Cali cartel, and now there's this Narcos Mexico. And one can make an argument. You can make at least 12 storylines about with Narcos and different storylines of all the characters and all the people involved with the drugs. It's crazy because of the history, right?
Yeah, there's too much history. I mean, this is something that's deeply engraved in the culture.
Yeah.
So it's it goes from way back until now, and it pretty much paints a good picture of why the drug situation is the way it is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's a good it's a useful guideline to understand the complexity of the social and political context, in order to evolve onto a new state in the society in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that's how I like to look at it. It's an entertaining, very entertaining series, but it's also very informative. And I've even spoken to people here in Mexico. It's at times a little painful, because it's produced so much ugly, terrible violence down here. So
well, at the end of the episode of the season 3 of Narcos with the Cali cartel, there's kind of that segue that it's going to be all about Mexico.
Yeah,
and just that scene, just showing all of that. I mean, that was kind of intense right from the get-go, you know what I mean? And then the show kind of started. So would it be safe to say that one word kind of described Narcos Mexico as intensity?
Yeah, definitely, yes. It's a very intense. It's very intense because of what I was mentioning. It's so complex, and they're packing in so much information into one season that it has to be intense. It has to be very quick. You have many different types of characters. Not all of them get to shine in the season, but there's much to talk about many different other characters as well, and their storylines. So I think 1 or 2 seasons is not enough. You also have El Chapo.
Yep.
El Chapo is a modern figure now.
And we see sprinkles of him in season 1. Season 2, he's obviously more prominent. But yeah, absolutely. Many seasons about El Chapo.
This is like we said, this is just getting started. And there's characters like Amado Carrillo, the Arellano Felix, the El Chapo. It's all these characters. It's just like little snippets of it. So you can expect to possibly see more of that coming along.
And it's pretty interesting and pretty cool from an actor's perspective because you're playing in these shows that are based on kind of real people, real agents and everything. But we don't know much about these agents. We know that what their names are, what cases they worked on, but then it's kind of like your opportunity to kind of take that and kind of put it on the big screen. How was that like?
Well, I think it was the biggest challenge, you know. I mean, I think as you know, as any actor, to give life to these characters, you know, make them human, and make them ours. Because since we don't know anything, it's pretty much open room for us to create and collaborate. And lucky enough, the group of actors that we worked with, and you know, the DEA group, we clicked so well. It was a amazing dynamic from the beginning, and that allowed for us to just kind of like as actors, as individuals, to just, you know, naturally just like open up and take care of each other, which just made it much easier and fun for us and for everyone, you know.
No, you mentioned fun. I mean, you see photos of yourself and other cast members kind of on set, and you know, you're all excited, like you're all like promoting the show and everything. What was that like? Was that like a family on set? Like, did you guys get along? Like, what was that like?
It was a total family, man.
Yeah.
It, you know, originally we were supposed to be in it less than we actually got.
I mean, you're in like you guys are in like most episodes.
Yeah. I mean, at first they kind of wanted us to kill us off, you know, one by one, but then by maybe like second episode, when they realized that they loved us, and they extended everyone. They were like, okay.
Oh, really? So was it? So you weren't supposed to be in most episodes?
We weren't supposed to. I mean, some of us were. You know, I was supposed to be maybe like originally in like 5 episodes, and one of the other guys was supposed to be 3, and all of that. And they were like, guys, we need to have you more in the show. So they extended our storylines much better.
That's awesome. What was kind of going through your head when you found that out? Like, you're just supposed to be doing 5. I mean, that's crazy.
I was stoked for the fact as well that it was like we were having so much fun. Like we couldn't just stop there, you know. Like, it just kind of made no sense at the beginning.
Yeah.
Even before they even told us, we were just like, man. I mean, like we worked so good, you know, and we became close friends, all of us. It was a family, and that shows, I think, on camera. And I think that's why people, you know, they love the Narcos, and they love, you know, the storyline belongs to them in a way, most of it at least. But I think that through this dynamic that we had, people, you know, really kind of fell for our group and are, you know, cheering for us. And
for sure. No,
so yeah,
100%.
It's all, you know, thanks to that, I would say that's the root. And of course, to the directors and everybody else and the cast and the crew. But
it's crazy to see. I want to talk about kind of like a general narrative that you can kind of apply to Narcos Mexico. You can apply to yourself as an actor from Mexico. You're originally from Mexico, correct?
Yes, I'm from. I was born and raised in Mexico City. And I lived in New York and LA for.
So, of course, a big trend right now, and a big narrative in cinema is, you know, international film, usually called foreign film, but international. You know, Parasite from Korea, you know, when everything was amazing. Narcos is a show, a lot of subtitles, you know what I mean? Like, it's not in the English language much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm seeing that as a really positive trend where Netflix is doing a great job to promote a lot of international cinema and international television, and I love it. There's so much more content out there. Talk about the struggle of, you know, getting international content out there to North America, because doesn't seem like a struggle anymore. I think Parasite just kind of hit it out of the park, and we're going to see a lot more international content out there.
I mean, the fact that there's the new platforms, and you know, the industry is ever changing. You know, it's never going to stay in one place. Again, especially now with all the different platforms, there's more opportunity. There's more work for directors, for actors. You know, back in the day, you would say, well, how many TV directors are there? You know, you would name a few. Now there's just more of everything. So with that comes more variety. You know, we have more international opportunities. Mexico is having a great impact internationally, I'd say. And it's exciting, man. I mean, you get to know more of the world now than you used to before. You know,
100%.
now you get to see how other people work in other countries. You know, now you have like Italian series,
Yep.
you have Argentinian series,
Norwegian series like
Norwegian.
Ragnarok on
Yeah,
Netflix.
it's crazy. You have all of that, and I'm loving it because I get to know other cultures.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
That's
get to
amazing.
know other actors, other ways of making film and TV. So it's awesome, man.
Did you see Parasite yet? Did you have a chance to
I saw
watch it?
Parasite. I loved it.
It's
Yeah.
crazy, eh?
It's crazy. I mean, how do you come up with that? You know,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
like
that's
you're
why I love
watching
it.
that, but like it's really funny because I haven't, there's a lot of amazing movies out there that, you'll find one or two people that were like, I liked it, you know what I mean? It wasn't like my favorite. I haven't heard like anyone say they didn't love Parasite.
Yeah, no.
Like, it's crazy.
I had one person. We were in like a little get together. I had one person say it, and everybody just kind of like turned quiet and turned to them, and they were like, "What?
Yeah.
You didn't like it?" You know what I mean? Even that just to see the impact of people saying, "Oh, I thought it was this and this and that," and people were like, "Man, you're crazy."
It's nuts. Now, Parasite is not necessarily it's a drama. There's some horror aspects of it in it.
Yeah.
There's some and horror is like one of my favorite genres. And even you look at like Mexico, like there's some
there's
crazy
some
horror. Yeah, there's some good stuff. There's some shorts too. I forget the names on the top of my head, but I remember seeing some Mexican short films that were horror that were like, whoa, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's a crazy genre. Why is that genre, in your opinion, getting so popular, man?
Well, I think they have amazing special effects now, man.
Yeah.
I mean, can do whatever, I personally, the horror movies that I personally love and the ones that actually do turn to frighten me are the ones that have to do with like spirits and, like exorcism and stuff like that, because that stuff actually does happen, man.
Or like for me, it's like the home invasion movies.
Yeah,
that scares
exactly.
me.
Those ones, yeah. Where it just, you actually like, you turn to your, to your living room, make sure everything's in its place or something.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I think it's just, it's the evolution, and I mean, they're starting to make better horror films.
Oh yeah, I mean, you look like Jordan Peele, and it's pretty funny too, because do you have any friends in the industry that are like this? So what I love about the Jordan Peele story is this is a guy who was a writer, an actor, known in the comedy world with Mad TV and writing with like doing the Key and Peele, right? And he's known for like the comedy, right? And then he starts doing these amazing, groundbreaking horror films, and people are kind of like, Jordan Peele is doing these? You know what I mean? Do you have any friends like from Mexico or from other places that are kind of like that are known for certain things, but then kind of crossed into other genres and kind of killed it in those genres?
Yeah. I have a couple of friends that tend to go more for comedy, and they're starting to do more drama, stuff like that. I mean,
it's important to be well-rounded, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one of the actors who's in the series, his character is Danilo. His name is Miguel Rodarte. He's a huge star here, but he's known for these like shows that are way lighter, kind of like tends to more towards the comedy and stuff like that. And then he's brought into this show, and he plays a guy who's also a little bit touched in his head, and he does it amazing, man. I mean, there's no doubt. You don't ever doubt him or anything. And even people that know him, that have seen him in so many other of these comedic shows, they love him in this. So I think he's a good example of someone who's a well-rounded actor, and can it's an all-terrain pretty much.
How's the reception been on your end with in Mexico? Have you been because you said he was like a huge star. Have you been recognized at all? What's that been like?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I'm a little bit. He's worked for many years. I've been acting for a while now, but I'd say I'm up and coming in the industry now. So, yeah, I get, I'm getting a lot of messages that I didn't expect would come out. People saying they cried
Yeah.
on the show.
Or a message from a
character.
podcast host from Canada.
Yeah, exactly, man. Or and it's like it's all welcome. And yeah, here and there, there's some people that tend to be like, oh yeah, you're the guy from Narcos, and it's only been a week. So
it's the access, though, man. It's the access, like the accessibility to everyone these days is nuts.
Yeah, and it's great to be able to chat with people about it. I have some conversations on social media with people that started, about the show, and now it's turning into something more political and social and stuff like that.
For sure.
So it's awesome, and I'm really welcoming that, because I feel part of my responsibility as an artist, as an actor, to be able to talk about these things.
You say artist, actor. I also call you guys storytellers.
Storytellers, absolutely.
It's a good one, because that's all we do. Whether you're an actor, a writer, musician, even like a professional wrestler, they're all storytellers.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
It's amazing. Professional wrestling is huge in Mexico. It's huge everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like I'm a huge wrestling fan. I have a lot of wrestlers on my show.
Cool.
It's funny. I was just talking about this morning, because I've been having a lot of wrestlers on. But like, one wrestler last year came on my show and described professional wrestling, as a violent 4th grade play. Isn't that
it is, man. I mean, I don't know if you ever seen the Mexican wrestling. They're insane.
Oh, it's nuts.
It's nuts. It's like a crazy show.
Have you been to one?
Yeah, I've been to them.
They're crazy.
I mean, they jump from like the third what do you call the third string, or
that's crazy.
Board, all the way. They jump onto the seats where the people are.
No, it's nuts. I have not been to. So I have family in Mexico, so I went to Mexico a long time ago. I think one of the coolest things I've ever been to was in Mexico, and it's in like my top 10 like highlights. I went to a Mexican soccer game, man. I saw Toluca play Cruz Azul.
Oh wow! You went to the Estadio Azul?
Yes, Toluca was the home team.
Okay.
So, dude, it was crazy.
Wild, huh?
Like, it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta watch your head, man. In those games, they're always throwing.
Well, there was some guy. Yeah, there was a lot of security and police with like shields. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, they go nuts. Especially those two teams. They hate each other.
Oh, really? That's like a big rivalry.
Yeah, it's between like Cruz Azul, America, Pumas, and Toluca, because they're like the local.
But
team.
It was so sweet to kind of like, I have a photo of myself. Like, I was really young, right? But I have a photo, and like you see the game in the background of the crowd, and it was just a really cool experience, man. Like, sporting events are awesome, man. Like, there's nothing like it. Yeah.
They're huge. They're epic. I mean, I imagine seeing a Real Madrid Barcelona game. That's a dream for me to go and watch one of those.
That'd be crazy.
I mean, it's the most viewed sport, let alone sport, man, match in the world. Mm-hmm. Goes over anything.
I know. So are you a big soccer fan?
Yeah, I'm a big soccer fan. Yeah. It's like my second passion after acting.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm in Canada, so it's hockey here. I saw, dude. Hockey is. I'm telling you, if you ever work in Canada or the States on a project, you need to try to go to a hockey game, because you're gonna lose your mind, man.
Yeah, I saw once in New York. I saw the Rangers.
Oh, you've been to a game?
I've been to one. Yeah,
it was pretty cool, right?
It was pretty cool, man. They started fighting, and I was just like, oh snap!
No, it's really
cool. Get front row on that.
No, absolutely. That's awesome, man. Well, Jero, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
And thank you so much, man. This was a great time to share with you.
Absolutely. Where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything?
Social media, Instagram, I'm on Jero Medina. That's Jero Medina 07.
Yep, absolutely.
7 is my lucky number. So
and they can watch Narcos Mexico on
Netflix, man.
Season 2, baby. Season 2 of Narcos Mexico.
That's right. Ossie Mejia, they're representing.
Absolutely. Seriously, man, congratulations to you, the cast and the crew, and all the best. And there's a wave of Narcos Mexico 2 right now, and hopefully that wave just continues, man.
I hope so, man. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best as well.
Absolutely. Thanks. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. And until next time, this is Jero Medina and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.